I don't see it, but I'll add it in there. We have links on our COVID-19 FAQ that will take you to information about vaccination requirements for entry to the US. If you're talking about general vaccinations like tuberculosis and that kind of stuff for the university, you may be able to get that on arrival, and you'd have to check with UHS Tang, the health center, to see when you have to get that done and what the availability is to get those vaccinations taken care of. Okay, next. I'm an incoming transfer student and I'm on an expired visa from my last school. After receiving my UC Berkeley I-20, do you think I need to go back home and get a new visa, or am I okay to stay with a valid UC Berkeley I-20? Great question. So if you are a transfer student and you transferred your I-20 to Berkeley with the same CVIS ID, and you're still physically present in the US, your body is still here and you're not leaving, you're fine. If your visa expires while your body is in the US and your I-20 is valid, you have an active I-20 and it's continuing into the future, you're fine to stay in the US. The visa is just an entry document to cross the border. You only need a valid visa to enter the US. Once you're here, the visa doesn't matter, but your I-20 is really important in whether you're going to be a student. So if you're a transfer and you're here and your visa's expired, but your I-20 is still valid from UC Berkeley, you're fine. The next time you leave the US, you do need to apply for a new visa so you can cross the border and re-enter again to continue your studies. In case I can't get my F1 visa in time, can I study under my current F2 visa? That's a tricky question. F2s are not allowed to study full time. So if you are currently an F2, I don't know if that's the best option for you. I would advise you to come and talk to us in advising to talk about a strategy, because F2s can't study full time, and it could be problematic for you to enter as an F2 and then you can only study part-time, which is likely not going to be academically okay. So I would check in with us about your plans to see what might be a good strategy for you. Okay, next, my country has a long wait list for visa appointments, so I don't want to risk delaying my classes by going back home during this period. Oh, I think this was my transfer student. So transfer student, you were okay with your visa. So it looks like, all right, is it normal that the officer puts your application under administrative processing, but still returns the passport and other documents to you? Yeah, that happens. Generally, once you're done with the administrative processing, they will ask you to send the passport and documents back, and then they'll put the visa in your passport. Each embassy and consulate does it differently. Some consulates, they'll keep your passport, but the problem is, if they keep your passport for a really long time, you can't travel anywhere. So it's usually good that they sent it back to you so that you're not trapped because your passport is being held by the consulate. Okay. Hello, is a visa only need for US entry/re-entry? I received a visa for 3 months as a Syrian, and I'm not sure if I need to renew it while being physically present in the US. Yeah, every country is different, and some countries get really short visas. So, this is a good question. So again, how the visa works is it's like, one way we describe it is it's like the key to get in your house. You need the key to unlock the door to your house, but once you enter your house, you don't need the key anymore. And it's okay if it's in your pocket. So that's the same with the visa. So if you've got a valid I-20, let's say your I-20 is valid for 5 years, you're in a 5-year program of study, you're enrolled full-time, you're actively maintaining your F1 status. Once you cross the border and your body is in the US and you've entered properly in your F1 status, it's fine for you to stay in the US, even if the visa, so let's go back a little bit and remind you, that's an I-20, that's got a start and end date, that's a DS 2019, that's got a start and end date. But the visa, that's just a sticker in your passport. That's just for entry. It